Right now at 5, the Missouri Senate has approved a new congressional map that targets a Democratic House seat.
Now we've got a few showers out there for some of our friends in southeast Kansas. A few pop-up storms possible later today. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, Missouri Southern Spiva Library reopens after undergoing renovations.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is Monday, September the 15th. Happy Monday. Weekend, of course, it always goes by way too fast.
I know, but it was really hot.
It was. You know, honestly, when it gets really hot like this, and it's not supposed to be, right. I'm okay with the days going by a little faster if it means we're getting closer to cool weather. And that is thankfully what it does mean. We just have a few more days of this second summer business to get through. Let's start with a live look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Looking pretty good. We got a mix of some partly cloudy skies out there. Also have some showers, which we'll show you in just a moment. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line, looking good as well. So here's the Skywatch Storm Tracker. And what we've got out there, again, real quick, this here in southwestern Bourbon County, that's not real. But what is real are these little showers out here. Not expecting too terribly much out of them. And they should be, and as you see on the loop here, they are in kind of a decaying state. And they should continue to do so as they lift off to the north. They'll eventually be gone. Now, the latest that we've looked at says that these should be gone before kids even start getting on the bus. Not to stay, a sprinkle or two may not hang on, but most of these should be out of here. All right, by noon, we're dry. In fact, we're dry through a good portion of the day, but by about 3, 4 o'clock, we'll have another opportunity for some isolated pop-up storms. So as you can see, it's very limited in coverage. The majority of us will remain dry today, but some of us will have an opportunity for an isolated pop-up storm or two as we roll into the afternoon. We're at 67 in Joplin, 65 in Pittsburgh right now. Temperatures across the region look like this. We are in the mid to upper 60s, even some 70s. Sedan, Neodesha, Chanute, Parsons, Independence. So again, a bit of a mild start. Looking to be right about 70 as kids get out, head out the door, get on the bus. By lunch and recess, partly cloudy, still dry though, upper 80s, low 90s when they come home, and again for some of us an isolated pop-up storm or two. Mid 70s by 9, again upper 80s by noon. Highs today once again into the low 90s, and winds expected to be calm as we head through the day. We do have slightly better pop-up storm chances tomorrow. In fact, we have rain chances nearly every day this week. We'll go over those details with you and tell you how much longer we have to wait for fall to return in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, the Republican-controlled Senate in Missouri has approved a new congressional map that targets a Democratic House seat. Friday's vote came 2 weeks after Governor Mike Kehoe unveiled the map and ordered a special legislative session to approve it. Missouri's Republicans hope to win 7 of the state's 8 congressional House seats in next year's midterm elections. They carved up longtime Democratic Representative Emanuel Cleaver's district in Kansas City. Opponents of the new maps want to bring the matter to voters with a special referendum. They have 90 days after the map is signed into law to collect signatures needed to force a statewide vote. And Spiva Library at Missouri Southern State University is turning the page on some much-needed renovations. The library had to close its doors all summer long to make these changes, but as KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, the new renovation will allow students much more space.
It's made it as such an open space. It's welcoming. It's really a place where students can take their own little area.
Patty DeArma is the library administration assistant for Missouri Southern. She says the library finally got some long-awaited renovations after it was shut down all summer. She says things look a little better than before.
The old one was welcoming, but it was very packed and busy.
Packed and busy is exactly what Library Director James Capacci wanted to put a stop to.
We're standing now, we used to have a lot of more shelving with our bound periodicals, but we moved that collection upstairs. So one goal was to make the library more spacious for students.
And with the online presence that we have as well, we didn't need all of the things that we used to have in the library.
Capacci says the last renovation to the library was between 2000 and 2001.
When the renovation project started earlier this summer, the carpet was 24 years old and was worn and starting to tear in many places.
He also said the building also needed some new paint, but some things stayed the same.
This mural behind me is of George A. Spiva. The library is named after him. He was a Joplin, a philanthropist.
Both Capacci and the Army says this is a place where students will thrive.
With the new paint job, the new flooring, it looks modern, it looks updated. Also, it's more spacious.
Hopefully students will love the new upgrades just as much. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
The library staff celebrated the new renovations with free treats for students. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Pro-Palestine protests suspend the final stage of the Valletta cycling race. More details coming up. Plus, how a higher dose of semaglutide can help those with type 2 diabetes. And we have sunny and clear skies in the 4 states. Chris has a look at your weekly forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Time now, 5:05. We'll be right back. Well, topping World Watch, the final stage of the Vuelta cycling race has been suspended. That comes after pro-Palestine protests in the Spanish capital. Paul Masquera has the details.
This is the moment that marks the abrupt end of the final stage of La Vuelta a España. After occupying the center of Madrid, hundreds of pro-Palestinian protesters took over the final kilometers of the cycling circuit. Although the police tried to disperse them, they were unsuccessful. Demonstrations also took place in previous stages of the competition, but none of this magnitude. The protesters have been a constant presence at the race, condemning the Israeli government's war in Gaza.
There is no right more important than the right to life. So when the lives of children, when the lives of a people are worthless, I believe it's everyone's obligation to come here to defend and protest.
People who are human are dying. They are people trapped there, unable to get anywhere, being bombed when they go to get food, dying of hunger.
As ordinary citizens, the only thing we can do is demonstrate so the world can hear us.
A few minutes after taking the last meters of the circuit, organizers decided to suspend the final stage of the competition. With barricades like these ones made of the fences that composed the last kilometer of the race, it became very clear that the cyclists would have not been able to reach the finish line. This year has been one of the most polemic editions of La Vuelta that we have seen so far. It has concluded with no podium ceremony, 2 people arrested and 22 police officers injured, according to a Spanish National Police spokesperson. Pau Mosquera, CNN, Madrid.
The final stage of this year's Vuelta a España ended in unprecedented fashion, abruptly halted by mass pro-Palestinian protests that overturned the finish line, left dozens injured, and sparked global debate over sports and politics. Well, still to come, how your favorite TV stars did at last night's Emmys. Plus, we have a warm and sunny conditions today. Chris has a look at today's forecast. We'll be right back. The Apple TV series The Studio broke the Emmy record for a comedy, and on the drama side, The Pit reached new heights. Dina Demetrius is in Los Angeles with a wrap of the 77th Emmy Awards.
This is insane. Thank you so much to the Academy.
HBO Max's medical series The Pit came out on top at this year's Emmys, winning for Outstanding Drama Series and Best Actor in a Drama Series for star Noah Wyle.
What a dream this has been.
The Studio.
With 13 trophies, the Apple TV Hollywood satire The Studio set a record for the most wins by comedy in a season, including Outstanding Comedy Series and Outstanding Lead Actor for star and producer Seth Rogen.
I'm legitimately embarrassed by how happy this makes me.
Hacks star Jean Smart won Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy for the 4th time, and Severance's Britt Lauer won Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama.
Getting to play this role in all of her layers has been a real kind of meeting of a soulmate.
Netflix's crime drama Adolescence scored the Emmy for limited or anthology series, and its 15-year-old star Owen Cooper became the youngest male Emmy winner ever.
I really don't know what to say, really, but yeah, it just means the world to me.
The audience rose to its feet when The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, which is in its final season, won Best Talk Series.
I want to thank CBS for giving us the privilege to be part of the late night tradition.
In addition to the awards, viewers were treated to a number of tributes to iconic TV shows.
Thank you for being a friend.
Reba McEntire sang the Golden Girls theme in honor of the comedy's 40th anniversary. The Law & Order franchise and Gilmore Girls also marked milestones. Dina Demetrius, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Comedian Nate Bargatze hosted the show for the first time. Now, to keep the acceptance speeches short, he pledged to donate $100,000 to the Boys and Girls Club of America at the start of the show, but warned the winners that he'd deduct $1,000 for every second they went over their allotted time. Ultimately, Bargatze ended up donating $250,000, with CBS adding an additional $100,000, bringing the grand total donation to the Boys and Girls Club to $350,000. Let's take it on over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we have partly cloudy skies out there, a few showers into southeastern Kansas, and pop-up storms possible later today. We have a complete look at your forecast, breakdown of what you need to know when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:18 now on this Monday morning, and we are starting with Skywatch Storm Tracker, where again, in some of our northern counties here, we do have a few light showers. So in between Yates Center and Iola, stretching back to the north, just to the east of Burlington, west of Garnett, we've got some showers, got a few showers there, as you can see, at our north of Moran. And as we head down into Montgomery County, a few isolated showers south of Independence, and a couple of those northeast of Bartlesville as well into Washington County. Not much out there. It is expected to continue to kind of die out over the next hour or so. Should be done before kids head out to get on the bus this morning, but an isolated sprinkle or two may try and hold on. But the bulk of the shower activity will be done again before sunrise is the expectation at this point. Then we'll be partly cloudy throughout the morning into the afternoon, and once we reach about 3 o'clock or so, we start to see opportunities for pop-up storms. These are going to be very isolated, as is the typical fashion of pop-up storms. Not everybody will see rain, but from about 3 to 7, we'll have that window for some pop-up storm chances out there. It will go partly cloudy through the evening and into the overnight hours. We start our Tuesday partly cloudy as well. Similar to today, all the way through at least noon, we're still dry, but tomorrow, there's still pop-up storms, but as you can see right now at least, the expectation is maybe a few more of them. Now still, not everybody necessarily will see rain with this as we head into our Tuesday, but it does increase the coverage a bit, especially along and to the east of the US 69 corridor, and this will continue through the late evening hours. May last a little longer, as you can see, about 8, 9 o'clock before that exits on out of here. Then we go into Wednesday, because I mentioned this earlier. We have pop-up storm, or at least some kind of rain chance nearly every day this week. Wednesday, starting a little earlier though, 8, 9 o'clock into our western counties. We get some isolated to widely scattered showers, a few thunderstorms out there. By noon, they're still confined really up around the Yates Center area and points northwest. And then by later into the afternoon, now we get new development east of 69 of news isolated to widely scattered showers and storms. These continue into the evening hours, and then we are looking at new isolated to widely scattered showers and storms as we roll into Wednesday, late evening as well. And these staying into the southeast Kansas side of things initially as we go late Wednesday into early Thursday morning. So this is, again, one of those situations where even Wednesday, for example, we've got rain chances really anywhere, but it's not everywhere all at once, and not everyone in the region will see rain, but we will have those chances out there. So again, to start our day, partly cloudy skies, low 70s out there, mid 80s by 11 o'clock this morning. Those isolated pop-up storm chances after 3, and our highs still very warm, well, just hot really. So we go into the low 90s. Winds expected to be calm. Calm winds overnight. Pop-up storm chances start wrapping up about 6, 7 at the absolute latest. Partly cloudy through the evening and overnight. Still mild, but a little better into the upper 60s across the area. And as we go through the next few days, as I mentioned, we hold on to rain chances all the way through the weekend. We're still in the low 90s through Wednesday. Then we have that boundary coming through. It's come back. You remember last week it slowed down and kept our heat around? Well, it's come back to Wednesday, and then that'll bring our temperatures back down a little more seasonable heading into the weekend and next week in the low to mid 80s. So just a few more days of these 90s before we get a little better out there. That is a check of your forecast. We're sending it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a higher dose of the popular weight loss drug semaglutide can improve weight loss and help people with type 2 diabetes. A study published in The Lancet looked into whether increasing the dose of semaglutide is effective. It found while the normal dose of the drug led to people losing 16% of their body weight, a higher dose led to people losing 19%. And half of adults who start taking popular weight loss drugs stop using them within a year. A study in Denmark reports that this is concerning because the drug semaglutide is not meant to be a temporary quick fix. Once someone stops taking the medication, all the beneficial effects on appetite control vanish. Low-income patients were the most likely to stop taking the drug due to its high costs. And cannabis use can greatly increase the risk of diabetes. A Boston Medical Center study found that new cases of diabetes were nearly 4 times higher among people who use cannabis compared to people who don't. But the study's authors say more research is needed to fully explain the association between cannabis and diabetes and whether other factors play a role. The Ozark Center Crisis Services and Freeman Health were at the Joplin Greenhouse to save lives over the weekend. The event is called the Caravan of Hope, an initiative rolling through the Joplin area during Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Customers had the opportunity to write messages of hope for struggling victims, while mental health professionals offered advice on how to stay safe during intense situations.
Suicide is a leading cause of death, but it is preventable. And we lose an American every 11 minutes to suicide, which is more than car crashes and homicides. So the message is to bring hope.
Now, according to Freeman Health, Missouri currently ranks 16 in the nation for suicides. Healthcare professionals encourage anyone to text or dial 988 if they're experiencing thoughts of suicide. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, the Treasury Department is giving the Epstein files financial documents a thorough probing.
And we've got some showers out there this morning. More pop-up storms possible this afternoon. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, President Trump announces plans to crack down on crime in Memphis using federal forces.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:26. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. It's Monday, September the 15th. Happy Monday, halfway through this month. Yes. Remember, 30 days hath September, April, June, November. So that's why we are really, truly halfway through this month. So hopefully everybody's month is off to a... Sorry, I'm a little too close to the stool. I don't want to spill your drink. Oh. I moved my foot and kicked the stool, and she's got a beverage there, and that would have been bad. But hopefully you're having a better month than I'm having right now this morning, and hopefully things are going good for you. And I know we've been dealing with this heat. I know it's unpleasant, but it is going to come to an end, and it will do so later this week. But first, some warm air to get through, and let's start with a live look outside downtown Pittsburgh. And we are partly cloudy with pretty dry conditions out there, but we do have some isolated showers into parts of southeastern Kansas. MoDOT camera looking good as well. So here's those showers. They do stretch down into Washington County. Some of these down here trying to recycle. Now the overall expectation is before too much longer, really before sunrise, which is about 7 o'clock this morning, these should be done. In fact, they're really showing that sign, but if you look into Washington County, a few of these showers still hanging on. So past 7 a.m., could we get an isolated sprinkle or two? It's possible, but the slightly more, and it's not even that widespread anymore, this shower activity should be pretty well done before sunrise. And we'll be partly cloudy and dry as we roll through the morning into the early afternoon. Then about 3-4 o'clock, we'll start to see opportunities for isolated pop-up storms. So again, this is a situation, not everyone's going to see rain. In fact, most of us will be dry, but some of us could get a shower or storm. The good news is no severe weather is expected with any of this activity that we see later today. We're at 67 in Joplin, 65 in Pittsburgh, and here's a look at temperatures across the area. Mid-upper 60s. Take a look at Sedan now. The warm spot at 71. We got a group of 70s, Neodesha, Chanute, Independence, and Newada. And then again, the rest of us, mid-upper 60s out there. So again, a pretty mild start to the day and definitely above normal. Kids getting on the bus, upper 60s, near 70, partly cloudy again, maybe a stray shower in southeast Kansas, but really I think we all should be just about dry. Upper 80s by lunch and recess time, still partly cloudy, still dry as they head home. 91 with some of those pop-up storm chances for at least a few of us out there. Mid 70s by 9, upper 80s by noon. Our highs today once again well above average in the low 90s. Winds are expected to be calm or perhaps light and variable at best. We do have rain chances nearly every day this week. In fact, we really have them every day this week including the weekend. We'll talk about that and when these 90-degree readings will go away here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, the Treasury Department says it will cooperate with the House Oversight Committee's Jeffrey Epstein investigation. In a letter to the committee, the department said it would turn over certain bank records known as suspicious activity reports. Now, these include sensitive information and require a specific process for how they get shared. It's not clear what information these financial records might contain. Suspicious activity reports do not necessarily indicate wrongdoing. Millions are filed each year. Few lead to law enforcement inquiries. Well, first it was Washington, D.C., and now Memphis might be next. President Donald Trump says the city will be added to his administration's crackdown on crime. John Lawrence reports.
The National Guard is heading to Tennessee's second biggest city.
We're going to Memphis. Memphis that's the next city. Deeply troubled. We're going to fix that just like we did Washington.
Tennessee Republican Governor Bill Lee was among the state and local officials who discussed with the White House the development of a, quote, multi-phased strategic plan to combat crime in Memphis. Democratic Memphis Mayor Paul Young was also involved with the talks.
I want to be clear. I did not ask for the National Guard, and I don't think it's the way to drive down crime. However, that decision has been made.
President Trump says his call for federal forces in Memphis came after speaking to Union Pacific CEO Jim Venna, who used to work in Memphis.
He said, when I walk 1 block to my hotel, they won't allow me to do it. They put me in an armored vehicle with bulletproof glass to take me 1 block. He said, it's so terrible.
So far, there's no official date set for sending troops to Memphis, but in a social media post, Governor Lee says he'll be working out the details with the Trump White House.
I'm certainly not happy about the National Guard. I am looking forward to trying to find ways to invest in the things that we're already doing to address crime in our city.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Mislabeled food products trigger some FDA recalls. We'll take a look. Plus, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle makes history as the first Japanese anime to top the U.S. box office. We'll have the latest. Time now, 5:32. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Well, in Consumer Watch, Gooder Foods is recalling some batches of its vegan is belief in plant-based white cheddar and here comes truffle cheddar pastas. The FDA warns the product's labels do not warn consumers that those flavors may contain milk or cashews respectively, which could cause a severe or life-threatening reaction for people with dairy or nut allergies. Consumers can return the recalled products to the place of purchase for a refund. And Demon Slayer Infinity Castle made history at the domestic weekend box office, becoming the first Japanese anime to debut at the top spot after raking in an estimated $70 million. Horror sequel The Conjuring Last Rites nabbed the second spot with $26 million. And period film Downton Abbey, the grand finale, rounded out the top 3, bringing in more than $18 million. And whether you root for the Crimson Tide, the Wolverines, or the Buckeyes, today after 5 p.m., Chipotle is offering buy one, get one free entrees to all football fans who wear college jerseys to participating locations. The deal is limited to 5 free items per check and must be claimed in person. Well, you probably noticed your grocery bill is higher lately, especially when it comes to beef. But as Michael George shows us, many Americans still aren't ready to cut meat out of their diet.
A mouth-watering cut of beef is costing you an arm and a leg.
Yeah, I'd say almost $5 a pound more expensive for your ground beef, hanger steak, stuff like that.
The price of beef has shot through the roof, up 13.9% annually in August. Americans were paying around $5.58 a pound a year ago. Now it's up to $6.32 a pound. Economists say tariffs, drought, and higher demand than supply are all to blame. But despite the sky-high prices, Americans haven't cut back on beef this year, according to an S&P Global report. Are you still buying beef?
Every day.
Usually when prices of protein go up the way they have been, especially with beef, consumers will switch to another protein. But we just haven't seen that yet with consumers, and beef still is the choice protein to go to.
Mark Bucher is co-founder of Medium Rare Steakhouse with 9 locations nationwide.
In stressful times, we go for comfort food,
burgers and beef.
They've managed to avoid raising prices on customers, but he says it's getting harder, and industry experts predict no end in sight to supply problems.
I don't see the price of beef coming down. I see it just going up.
And while Americans' love affair with beef is as strong as ever, the concern is eventually consumers have a breaking point.
Your medium rare steakhouse, when beef prices go up, you can't pivot to medium rare chicken wings. Right. This is what you guys do. So how do you respond to something like this?
You're scared. If you're going to go underwater on your costs, how long can you go underwater before you got to come up and gasp for air?
Something to chew on the next time you're at the grocery store. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
The Department of Agriculture projections suggest the price of beef could shoot even higher in 2026. That's a look at Consumer Watch. Let's take it on over now to Chris for a quick look at the forecast.
Yeah, again, we've got partly cloudy skies out there. A few isolated showers into parts of southeastern Kansas this morning. More pop-up storms possible later today and really throughout the week. Well, full look at your forecast from KOAM Morning News returns. Time now is 5:37. We'll be right back.
Well, some hopeful signs when it comes to food insecurity around the world. Details in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. A new report says food security around the world is expected to improve overall this year. USDA's Economic Research Service says incomes in the country it surveyed are expected to grow by 3.7%, while food inflation in many of those countries is expected to ease. And because of that, the number of food insecure people is estimated to drop by more than 26%. Now you can see that in the areas of this map shaded in blue. Meanwhile, the areas in red are where food insecurity is still the greatest, such as sub-Saharan Africa and the Caribbean. Pear lovers, get ready for what could be a great crop. Harvest of the fruit is underway right now, and Pear Bureau Northwest says a mild winter and favorable growing conditions has set growers up for a great harvest. Its estimated yields could exceed last year by about 60% across the 10 varieties grown in that area. And watermelon rinds, greasy pizza boxes, and yard trimmings. In most cities, those items would head straight to landfill. But in New York City, they're the raw ingredients for something surprisingly valuable called black gold. Crews shred, screen, and then store the waste, turning it into compost. It's then sold to landscapers or distributed for free to residents, schools, and community gardens to improve soil health. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
All right, here's Chris now with a full look at today's forecast.
Yeah, we're going to start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker this morning, as we've got a few isolated showers out in parts of southeastern Kansas. So there's kind of running this line heading north. So we've got these ones on K31 to the west of Garnett and really hugging the Anderson and Coffee County border there. Then as we head south along that same line, we got this little shower here south of 54 east of Yates Center. We got another one south of Altoona on 75 and another one right around the Independence area, right over 75 and 160. And we also have some back down into Washington County, stretching back toward Bartlesville. They're still trying to recycle down there. Now, the overall expectation is what we're seeing here in southeast Kansas, where they should begin to die out before sunrise. But as you can see here, they are trying to kind of recycle, but not much is expected. So just a light shower here or there, maybe some a few sprinkles at best. The majority of us, at least through the morning into the afternoon, really will remain dry until we head a little later into the day, say around 3-4 o'clock. We'll start to see opportunities for isolated pop-up storms as we head into the afternoon. Now, kind of like this morning, these are going to be very isolated. Not everybody will see rain today, but at least some of us will have an opportunity for a shower or two, or even a rumble of thunder, and these will wrap up by about 6, 7 at the latest this evening. Partly cloudy skies overnight into our Tuesday, and then by Tuesday afternoon, we see another opportunity, maybe even as early as 2, for some pop-up storms. Now, they do appear to be a little more widespread spreading coverage, but they're still fairly confined. The majority of the activity along and east of 69. But again, it's not rain everywhere all at once, so these will be isolated in nature, but as you can see, slightly better chances of some pop-up showers and storms as we go into our Tuesday. So more so scattered storms again in the eastern half of our region. Then we go into Wednesday. Now Wednesday, we start partly cloudy again, but a little earlier, as early as 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, we start to get some isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms out in parts of southeast Kansas. These kind of hang on through the lunch hour. Then they die out and we get new development east of 69 by 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday. We'll have these isolated showers and storms. So again, it's not rain everywhere all at once. And then late in the evening, these ones die out, and now we get another batch of scattered showers and a few thunderstorms pushing into parts of southeast Kansas again along 75 corridor. So it's, again, one of those situations where it's not rain everywhere all at once. Wednesday is a great example of where we have rain chances really across the whole area, but it doesn't mean everyone in the region is going to see rain necessarily. But we do at least have those chances, and no severe weather expected with any of this activity at this point either, which is certainly some good news. All right, for this morning, partly cloudy. Again, perhaps an isolated shower or two trying to hold on out to the west. But I think most of us are dry. Low 70s to start, mid 80s by 11 o'clock this morning. Highs continuing with that second summer going in the low 90s. We'll have those isolated pop-up storm chances as we head into the afternoon and early evening hours. They were partly cloudy for the rest of the evening and overnight back into the upper 60s. We'll have those pop-up storm chances from today through at least Sunday at this point. And that boundary, we talked about it last week. It was showing up for a while from Wednesday into Thursday. It brought our temperatures down to normal. Then on Friday, it kind of slid back closer to the weekend, but now it's back where it should be and kind of where we want it, because the sooner we can get rid of these 90s, the better. So as we enter the latter half of this week and the next work week, we're still warm, but we're a little more seasonable. Temperatures back in low to mid 80s. Let's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with sports.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, in sports this morning, the Lady Gorillas face off against Southern Nazarene in a thrilling soccer match. The Gorillas clashed with the Crimson Storm. Now, the second half, Danae Hobson's goal attempt was throttled by Avery Pyle's slide tackle. Ryan Carruth's cross was too high, and Ella Casavillan's pass to Hobson was deflected, but Macy Malik, on her birthday, scored her first goal, securing a 1-0 victory for Pitt State. Pitt State football is back in the jungle for its 2025 home opener. Exciting action at Carty Smith Stadium as the Gorillas took the field for the first time this season. Austin Schmidt kicked a career-long 53-yard field goal, giving PSU an early lead. Spencer Ward's interception set up a touchdown for Karan Parchman, making it 10-0 at half despite a Lakers comeback. Zamari Pelod-Gary's touchdown, but put PSU back on top, and Reginald King Jr.'s late interception sealed the upset over the third-ranked Lakers, 17-14. In Division I football, 14th ranked Clemson takes on Georgia Tech in an ACC clash. The Hornets hosted the Tigers, seeking a big win. Georgia Tech's Jamal Haynes rushed for an early touchdown, leading 10-0. Clemson's Cade Klubnik scored just before half, making it 13-7. And the third, Klubnik connected with Brian Wesco Jr. for a 73-yard touchdown, giving the Tigers the lead. Now tied with 3 minutes left, Georgia Tech's Aiden Burr nailed a 55-yard field goal in the final seconds, sealing the upset over 14 Clemson. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs are back at Arrowhead Stadium for their 2025 home opener, and their opponent is a familiar one. It's a Super Bowl 59 rematch against the Philadelphia Eagles. Kansas City aimed to avoid a 0-2 start facing off against the Eagles. Saquon Barkley's early touchdown put Philly ahead. Patrick Mahomes responded, diving for a score to lead 10-7. In the fourth, Jalen Hurts extended the Eagles' lead with a tush-push touchdown, and Mahomes connected with Tyquan Thornton for a late score, but the Chiefs couldn't recover the onside kick. Philadelphia sealed the win, 2017.
For the first time since 2014, the Kansas City Chiefs are 0-2 to start the season after dropping their home opener in a Super Bowl rematch against the Philadelphia Eagles. And going into this matchup, the Chiefs defense had a tough task, trying to limit a Philadelphia offense that features Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, and more. But the defense answered the call, limiting the Eagles' offense to under 220 total yards.
Offensively, we played really solid football. We had short fields at times, and the guys took care of business there. The Spags had a nice game plan, very aggressive, and I thought our secondary rose up to that part of it, and they've got good receivers. I thought they stayed aggressive on the receivers within the framework of things, and I just thought all around it was a good defensive performance.
I think we did a lot better, especially that run game, the front seven. I think they held up. They did a really good job against Saquon. The back game, we limited some explosive plays, which was really good. And obviously, we got to go back and watch the film and correct some things. But I thought we took a really good step moving forward with this defense today.
While there's frustration for this Chiefs team, especially on offense, missing on some big play opportunities and having a costly turnover, Patrick Mahomes believes that this team is close, while Chris Jones thinks that this opportunity ahead gives them a chance to get closer as a group as they look to rebound in week 3.
Throughout the whole team, we just, to one guy here or there, it's not like we're missing by much. And so I know it sucks to hear for the fans, but I feel like we're close. And so all we can do is just continue to work and continue to get after it. We believe the work puts out the product. And so obviously we've never been 0-2, but we've had times where we've dealt with challenges before and lost games. The guys that we have in this locker room will go back to work with that mindset of we're going to continue to work even harder so that when we step on that field this next time, we can find a way to win in those big moments like we have at this first 2 weeks.
I think this is a moment for us to even come together as a team. A little adversity is tough, but adversity builds character. And we can come together. We got the team, we got the guys to figure this out and make a change. It's only first quarter of the season. It's 2 games. You got 17 games. So it's a long journey ahead. We can figure this thing out and get back on the right track with a win next week.
Next week, the Chiefs have an opportunity to rebound on Sunday Night Football against the New York Giants. Reporting from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City for KOAM Sports, I'm Ryan Blank.
That's a look at sports this morning. We'll be right back with more news and weather right after this. Well, not many animals get a shot at stardom, but an Oklahoma therapy dog named Nemo is in the spotlight as one of 30 finalists to be the next Air Bud. Nemo, a 7-year-old golden retriever, has already starred in several commercials, giving him a leg up on the competition. Now, if he lands the role, Nemo will head to Vancouver for 11 weeks of filming, and his owner says he's ready for his close-up. We'll certainly be cheering him on. And President Trump's new ambassador to the Vatican, Brian Birch, a critic of the late Pope Francis, tried to ease tensions by gifting Pope Leo a Chicago-made birthday cake at the Apostolic Palace as Leo turned 70 this weekend. Despite Church's controversial past, the Vatican accepted his appointment. And of course, you can always be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Sky Watch weather app. You can get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone. Of course, it's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. All you have to do is search for the KOAM Sky Watch weather app.
And we've still got some scattered showers out there in parts of southeastern Kansas and northeast Oklahoma. They continue to try and regenerate a bit. Looking at some data, still suggesting that they'll be done before sunrise. But we do, at least for now, have these showers here that are straddling the Anderson-Coffee County border, so east of Burlington, west of Garnett. Then we head a little further south, got to go a lot further south, but then east of Altoona. We have another little shower. We have some to the southeast of Sycamore around the Independence area. I've got one west of Coffeyville, and we'll follow that all the way down into Washington County. So Oshaleta, Bartlesville, Ramona got some showers out there as well. And we put, we put the Skywatch storm tracker into motion, and you can see where these storms are they're not even storms, these showers rather, are continuing to lift off to the north. Again, the expectation is they're still going to die out before sunrise, but just watching the radar trends, you can see where they do keep trying to recycle out here. So a few light showers or sprinkles may continue beyond sunrise for some of you in southeastern Kansas. chances. But again, the majority of us will be dry. We'll have better chances for some isolated pop-up storms as we head into the afternoon hours. So partly cloudy, and then about 3 o'clock or so, these will be isolated. Not everyone will see rain, but at least some of us have an opportunity for an isolated shower or two across the area as we go into the afternoon. And then these will be done by about 7 at the latest this evening. It will be partly cloudy overnight and partly cloudy to start our Tuesday. Through the morning, again, we'll watch the radar for radar trends on those showers out in parts of southeast Kansas. You saw how isolated they are. It's not a lot of rain, but at least some folks are getting some. And again, they may continue a little beyond sunrise. Otherwise, I think the majority of us are dry. We're partly cloudy. Low 70s to start. We'll go mid 80s by 11 o'clock this morning. Into the afternoon, the unseasonably hot temperatures continue. Low 90s out there. And again, after about 3, start getting, at least for some folks, isolated pop-up storm chances, and winds will be calm or light and variable at best. Then we head into the evening, again by 6, 7 at the latest. Pop-up storms, they're done. They're out of here. That's it. We're partly cloudy the rest of the evening, and overnight still mild, but a little cooler than where we have been here lately. Not by much, but a little. So we fall back into the upper 60s with light and variable winds overnight as well. Second summer continues still through at least Wednesday. Rain chances from now through at least Sunday out there. Tomorrow and maybe even Wednesday, slightly better pop-up storm chances, but again, it won't be all over the place. It won't be a lot of rain, but we have slightly better chances of, instead of, like 4 or 5 pop-up storms, maybe 10 or 12 pop-up storms out there. And then after this boundary pushes through late Wednesday into Thursday, our temperatures finally get to a much more seasonable level, back in the low to mid 80s. That's a check of your forecast. We have another hour of the KOM Morning News right after this.